Good morning, Pineview Middle School. This is Brett Gifford. Today, I am just going to go over our new intervention system and how to use this access as a school teacher. So I've started by logging into the new Power School system. Once I've logged in, I look at my classes. And as I look at my classes, I'm going to see which kids I want to put into either Pride or Pause. And so if I went into my first period class, I would start by clicking on the seating chart right here. Once I click on the seating chart, I click on the multi-day tab right over here. Once I've selected the multi-day tab, I find the current day. So if this were an A day, which would be tomorrow on Tuesday, I would click on whatever student I wanted, and a drop-down list of the codes that I would want for that day would appear. Since it is not an A day, I'm not allowed to be able to go ahead in time to click on a kid. So this is something I would do each morning on whatever kids I wanted intervention for. Since it's an A day tomorrow, the code would be a 1. That would indicate that I want that kid to come to Pride to me on an A day. If it were a B day, like on Wednesday, on that Wednesday morning, I would click on the student and I would click a 2, indicating that I want them for that day. Once I've gone through and selected the kids that I feel need Pride or Pause intervention, if it were a Pause intervention, I would click on it and the code is a 7. And you'll see it on the drop-down list when you get that choice. Once that's been decided and designated, I would hit Submit. Following that Submit, if it were a day where I were doing Pride and I had a lot of students that I needed to use, and I wanted to send my homeroom to the little theater, I would take my homeroom seating, click on multi-day, and I would click on the kids that I did not want and put a 3 there that's going to push them to the little theater. By doing that, the 3 will then designate that those kids are going to go straight to the little theater. Once they're at that little theater, attendance can then be taken to show that they've actually been there. As I'm doing Pride, for those that have Pride, when I take roll for the students, I'm going to start by going to Reports. Once I go to Reports, I'm going to click down here in Intervention Attendance. Once I've done that, if it were an A day, I would select A day as the code. If it were a B day, I'd go B. If I were pushing a kid to the little theater, I would do the 3. If I were like Kathy Higgins, for instance, working in the little theater, I would click on 3. So let's say that I did an A day. I would then select the intervention code. And the intervention code that we're going to use is to say that they are here. And so by saying that they came, we're going to find them and click on Y, that they are here. Once I've done that, the student will then enter their number and we'll hit Submit, and each kid that comes in will enter their student number followed by Submit, and it is our way of being able to hold the kids accountable and take roll in a quick fashion. We've been told by other schools and people that have ran it that by having some Chromebooks available or a computer up and ready as they come in is the fastest, most efficient way to get them submitted and still held accountable. This ends the first portion of how to do our intervention, as well as how to take roll when you were doing the intervention.